I want it clear today, I will not accept betrayal in my ranks. We are building a new Burkina Faso, one of unity and accountability. If anyone thinks they can destroy this by deceit and force, they will be stopped. Not tomorrow, not later, but now.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to Ibrahim Traoré's Era. In this channel, we go beyond the surface. We don't just talk about news, we reveal the hidden battles, the silent victories, and the bold moves that most people never hear about. Today's story is one of betrayal and protection. 7 coup plotters, yes, 7 have just been arrested by Traoré's security team. But how did this happen? How did they find out? Who paid these men to rise against their own president? And most importantly, why did the others fall to their knees and cry for forgiveness? Captain Ibrahim Traoré is not just leading with ideas. He is leading with strategy, with strong security, and with powerful international alliances. And this time it was Russia's surveillance network installed months ago that helped stop what could have been the biggest betrayal in Burkina Faso since the 1987 coup that ended Sankara's life. But this time, the story ended differently. Let's begin. The sun had barely risen over Ouagadougou when an alert came through one of the intelligence centers. A message had been intercepted. Not a loud one, not something obvious, just a small code, a strange bank transaction from a foreign account into a private military officer's wallet. But it was enough. Russia's cyber surveillance systems, installed under a secret defense pact with Burkina Faso, had been scanning for patterns like this for months. Traoré knew the enemy wouldn't strike loudly. They would move quietly through bank accounts, phone calls, and whispers. Within minutes, the military intelligence team acted. They pulled the files, they connected dots, and they found it. A mid-level officer in the Burkina Faso army had received millions. He was not alone. By midday, the signal had turned into a firestorm. One officer had been tasked to recruit others with him and overthrow Traoré, but what they didn't know was that Traoré's shield was already active. The officer was supposed to hold a private meeting, somewhere outside the capital, a safe house where a few trusted soldiers were expected to come. But the safe house had already been compromised. Traoré's men had been watching. Not just the location, but the phones, the cars, even the road cameras leading to it. So when the officer showed up with documents, foreign cash, and a fake ID, he found himself surrounded. No gunfire, no panic, just silence and cuffs. He was taken into custody immediately. But Traoré's men didn't stop there. They followed the trail, the conversations, the messages. They knocked on 6 other doors that night. By morning, 7 soldiers were under arrest. Every one of them had accepted either cash or promise. Some were hesitant, others excited, but they all made the wrong choice. And Traoré, he didn't even flinch. Because this is not 19, this is a new Burkina Faso, wired, protected, and ready. Now here's where the story takes a surprising turn. When word got out that the officer had been arrested, and that the security forces had tracked the rest, a few other military men who had been considering joining the plot panicked. Some tried to escape. But 5 of them, young, newly trained, and still unsure about their loyalties, did something no one expected. They went straight to Traoré. With fear on their faces and tears in their eyes, they dropped to the ground. They knelt in the dust, heads down, and begged. "Mr. President," one of them said, "we were deceived. We didn't take the money yet. But they tried. We came to confess. We came to ask for forgiveness." Eyewitnesses say Traoré stood silent for a moment, staring at them. And then he said only one thing: "If you truly regret it, prove it. Go back and fight, not against me but for your people." And he walked away. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. Why is Russia so involved? Why is their surveillance system in Burkina Faso? And how exactly did they help stop this coup? The truth is, after breaking away from France's influence, Traoré knew he would need new allies. But not just any allies. Allies who understood pressure, betrayal, isolation, and Russia. They've played that game for decades. So when they offered to install advanced cyber surveillance technology, satellite monitoring, bank tracing, encrypted threat detection, Traoré agreed. And it's this same system that caught the officer's movement. This wasn't luck. This was strategic preparation. Burkina Faso is now digitally protected in ways that few West African nations are. And this coup attempt proved one thing: it works. Enemies didn't even know they were being watched. The money they took, traced. The plans they made, recorded. And when it was time to act, Traoré didn't hesitate. Let's be honest, not everyone wants to see Traoré succeed. His war against foreign exploitation, his refusal to bow to international pressure, his focus on national production and independence, it's shaking the table. That's why they've tried to eliminate him. But here's the problem. He's not just protected by his army, he's protected by technology, intelligence, the ancestors, and the will of the people. When you combine spiritual protection from the land, tech surveillance from Russia, a loyal inner security team, and millions of people ready to blow the whistle at the first sign of danger, you're not just dealing with a man anymore, you're dealing with a movement. So to those plotting, the message is clear. You might buy one man, but you cannot buy a whole system that is awake. And now Traoré is more awake than ever. After the arrest of the 7 coup plotters and the surrender of the others, something powerful began to change within the military. Soldiers began whispering a new phrase among themselves. The eyes of Traoré see everything. It wasn't fear, it was respect. Many of these soldiers had trained under corrupt officers before. Some had served under leaders who took orders from foreign embassies, not from their own people. But under Traoré, the message is different. Loyalty is no longer just about rank, it's about purpose. In response to the coup attempt, Traoré gathered key military leaders into a closed-door meeting at the presidency. No cameras, no speeches, just a message. He stood before them and said, "We are not just fighting terrorists, we are fighting for the soul of this land. If anyone among you values cash more than country, leave now. I will not beg you to serve." Nobody left. Instead, after that meeting, a new code was issued across the military: zero tolerance for betrayal. Any suspicious movement, any unexplained bank transaction, any secret meetings would be reported immediately. The men and women in uniform now understood. This isn't about a man anymore, it's about the nation. And the shield was getting stronger. As the dust settled and calm returned to the streets of Ouagadougou, Traoré addressed the nation. He did not raise his voice. He did not point fingers. He simply said, "I thank the gods who gave us vision, and I thank the people for believing in this mission. Burkina Faso cannot be bought." Then he made one final promise. This was only one battle. We will continue to uncover the roots of betrayal, and we will continue to build this nation with clean hands and clear hearts. Behind him you could see the quiet determination of a man who knows what's at stake. Foreign powers, they're watching closely. Old politicians, they're afraid. But Traoré, he's focused. Because now, after this failed coup, the people believe more than ever that their leader is protected, not just by weapons, not just by software, but by purpose. And when a man leads with purpose, he becomes harder to break. Burkina Faso has been through enough pain, enough foreign control, enough betrayal. Now under Traoré's leadership, something new is rising. Soldiers fight for the people, not for bribes. And a young president refuses to back down, because he knows who he is, and who stands with him. This is not the end. This is only the beginning of Traoré's era, and the message is clear to all. If you try to touch this man, you're not just fighting him, you're fighting the entire system, the ancestors, and the people of Burkina Faso. And that is a fight no one has ever won.